This is Ortho Advice, presented by Crystal Clinic Orthopaedic Center.
I'm Dr. TJ Riley of the Crystal Clinic Orthopaedic Center, joined today by shoulder and elbow specialist Curtis Knoll. Doctor, how often do you see rotator cuff injuries?
Rotator cuff injuries are very common, and we see them in all age groups. We see and treat injuries from rotator cuff tendinitis, which is inflammation of the rotator cuff, to complete tears of the rotator cuff tendon. Younger patients tend to have more inflammation, and as we get older, we tend to have complete rotator cuff tears.
What are the treatment options for rotator cuff injuries?
Surgeons here at Crystal Clinic Orthopaedic Center will work closely with you to determine what the best treatment option is. For inflammation, we often do rest, ice, anti-inflammatories, physical therapy, and maybe injections. If that fails, or if you have a complete rotator cuff tear, we often have to do surgery, which is often arthroscopic, which can be less painful and more cosmetic than open surgery.
For more information, call 1-888-850-3219 or visit crystalclinic.com.